This July, I and 10 other people had the opportunity to travel to a small town in Guatemala called Visiquichum. It was an amazing opportunity where we got to learn all about different cultures and different experiences.
Seeing the work that God was doing in Visiquichum was incredible. We had the opportunity to meet with some of the leaders in the community, the leaders that have been working real closely with Food for the Hungry during our time there and before. These were people that were men and women that were affected pretty intimately by the civil war that was in Guatemala for 30 years. People that lost family members, people that were displaced from their homes, and they came back to Visiquichum to rebuild from scratch. It's great to see that the work that Riversgate and Food for the Hungry has done has really helped the people of Visiquichum to realize more of the fullness of God by helping them to rebuild and heal the community and by allowing God to build up and raise new leaders.
We had an amazing time in Guatemala, and one piece that I loved was getting to know our church family that went down with us, spending time together, just growing in our faith with one another. It was amazing. Gosh, so many good memories, seeing our kids play with other kids, get to know babies and parents and all those people, husbands and wives and grandparents, and from meals to caring for kids to weaving, farming, all those pieces was just very cool to see. Picking one moment out, I loved, I think, the VBS and seeing how similar their kids are to our kids and how they just want to grow and learn and flourish. It was cool to see the Food for the Hungry staff that's there every day or visits weekly. They love Christ, they love the communities they're in, they believe in one another.
One of my favorite times was when all the little girls in the village were teaching me how to weave bracelets. They came up and tied a big string around my waist and tied different multicolored strings to it. Then they taught me how to knot the bracelets in different ways to make a really cool pattern. Food for the Hungry had a really cool VBS setup for all the kids there. We as a church helped provide art projects and fun songs for the kids to sing. One of the best parts of VBS was when Brian, my dad, took his guitar and started singing "I got the joy, joy, joy down in my heart" in Spanish. The kids loved it and were jumping up and down, clapping and laughing the whole time.
Visiquichum is a community of about 350 people in the Ixil region of Guatemala, with beautiful green mountains that are rolling in the north side of the country. Within that community of 350, there are about 90 kids in school, just between kindergarten and 6th grade. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of the composition of the community, the feel of the vibe around there. There are just a lot of families, there's 70 of them, and there's a large young population that's going on in this place. My favorite time spent with my new friends was the first morning that we were there, just kind of lingering after a meeting. None of them wanted to go home. We were all just enjoying our time together. So I reached into my bag and I pulled extra supplies from the previous day's vacation Bible school. These normally quiet women just cheered. They wanted a chance to play and be creative too. Together we made wooden name tags for each of them, sharing the story of when Jesus looked up into the tree and called out the name of Zacchaeus. We talked about how God knows our names, that they're important to Him, that He's interested in all of our daily lives, and that He's thinking of us at all times. What a beautiful thing to see as these women proudly wore their creations about town, as we all called to each other by name as friends.
This year I went to Guatemala, and one of my favorite experiences was getting to play with the kids and the grown-ups and showing them like soccer moves, like headers. It was a really good experience, and it was really fun playing with the kids. I think they loved it too. The only thing that was not as fun in Guatemala were the bugs. They were huge. It was so scary. I hated it. But other than that,
on your shoulder right now.
It was really fun to see Jill teaching all the kids sign language. They were really engaged in it, and it was cool to see that they aren't that different in how they learn, and also seeing the Food for the Hungry staff, just how they work together and the teamwork that they use. It's really, really cool. If your family is considering to go next year, I would say go for it. It's really fun.
This was a great opportunity for me and my family, and I encourage everyone who's even considering it to come with us next year. Yay!